July 18th, 2026. Dear Reminiscent Me. Do you ever have days where things just keep reminding you of something else? It could be a smell, a taste, a touch. Whatever it is, everything quickly rushes back. So today, for once, I slept in. I didn't get out of bed until 2:30ish, which is completely unlike me, but it felt really good. And I got up, I got dressed, and all I wanted to eat was a bowl of cereal. And it wasn't my depressed bowl of cereal, it just sounded really good. So, I ordered some groceries from Walmart, had it delivered to my house, had my day all planned out. I have finished my journal, so I'm getting ready to get that all taken care of for you guys. And while I was doing that, I thought I'd make a freebie. And so, in making my freebie, I made a list of questions that kind of challenge us to get to know each other in the most simplest of ways. Kind of like an icebreaker. You know, that thing you hate doing when you have to start a job or group project. Yeah, that. But I wanted it to be different. I wanted the icebreaker to be like our conversation that we were having. Like we're sitting right in front of each other and just talking and going back and forth. So I'd ask questions, but I also answered the questions because I'm not going to have you do something that I wouldn't do myself. So I build this journal, so to speak, with these questions, and I'm answering it. And as well as I know myself, these answers sometimes surprised me. It was nice learning about me, and that's kind of the purpose of this particular journal. We oftentimes have conversations with everybody else. Get to know you, how are you doing? We rarely, if ever, have conversations with ourselves about what we like, what we don't like, what we appreciate, what reminds us of what, how things work for us. And I think the lack of doing that puts us at a disadvantage. We are taught in looking for partners that we should ask questions and we should watch the way they move, the way they do things. We should learn patterns. But we never think to, for lack of a better word, analyze our own. So that's what this book did, right? And so I'm answering some of the questions, and man, did it bring back a flood of memories. It asks you things like, what feels like home? And I was sitting there and I was thinking, like, what does that even mean? What feels like home? I don't live where I'm from. I'm from California. I now live in Kansas. So my home is back there, and Kansas does not feel like home. Not at all. But there are some aspects that I participate in that feel like home. So I was thinking about it, and for me, home feels like a fresh batch of homemade french fries. My grandmother loved to make french fries from scratch. So whenever I make a batch of french fries on my own, they instantly remind me of her. When I want to have a smile for my dad, I make scrambled eggs with white rice with sugar. Sounds absolutely weird, amazing to eat. That's my dad smiling at me. When I'm sad and I want a hug from my dad, I eat a bowl of butter pecan ice cream because butter pecan is my dad's favorite ice cream. It's so interesting to see how many thoughts and feelings are tied into the things we do, the things we use, and how it makes us feel. Another one for me was a bowl of cream of wheat. I don't know a lot of people who eat cream of wheat, but I grew up on it as a kid. And we would have to make big batches because, again, there's a lot of kids in my family. And my mom used to sweeten it with sweetened condensed milk. I've never heard of people doing that. And so we used to fight about it because she would open one can and we'd have 6 different bowls to fill. And she only gave us so much to make it sweet to begin with. And so we would argue over who got the most sweetened condensed milk. But for me, a bowl of cream of wheat feels like sitting at the kitchen table with my brothers and sisters. I mean, even during the winter, like, we will have Facebook conversations, text message conversations about, I just had a whole bowl of cream of wheat to myself and I didn't have to fight over the sweetened condensed milk. Because for all of us, it evokes that memory. And so then it was, the other kinds of things that mean the world to me. One of the questions asked was, so there's a fire to your home and all the important things have gotten out. Your family, your pets, anything that would reasonably be important. What do you go back in for? And I sat and I was thinking about it. I have 2 different stuffed animals. I sleep with one and the other one watches me in my office. The one that I sleep with is Theodore. Wherever I go, Theodore goes. If I go out of town, Theodore goes with me. If I stay at a friend's house, Theodore goes with me. If I sleep in my living room versus my bedroom, Theodore is there. So clearly Theodore is important to me. I received him in about 2009, 2010. I was an adult, and it was a stuffed animal that belonged to a boyfriend at the time. He grew up with it. And for whatever reason, I became super attached to this teddy bear. And when the relationship ended, not on a sour note, he gave me the bear to take with me. And so for me, it's about falling in love for the first time and making these memories with this family. I've actually talked about them before. It's the man that I dated with 3 kids back in California where I felt whole. And it's just a sweet memory for me. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel whole. And then there's my other stuffed animal, my Minnie Mouse, who is essentially missing an eye and her bow and her clothes, but she's my Minnie Mouse. I can tell that it's my Minnie Mouse. I have had this Minnie Mouse since I was a little girl. I don't recall a time I haven't had it. And for me, the most prominent memory tied to Minnie Mouse is when I would sleep with her in the bed with my grandmother, my dad's mom. My dad's mom was by far my favorite relative. She just seemed to understand me. She just seemed to love me. So for me, all of that is tied up in Minnie Mouse. And I can't imagine not having her. From every home that I have moved to, and I have moved to plenty of homes throughout my 43-ish years of existence, Minnie Mouse has always been there. She's always gone with me. She's never lost. If she were to get lost, I probably would just lose my mind. But she means the world to me. She represents the child that I was, and the grandmother that I lost, and the love that she had for me. I can still hear my grandmother complaining about how her back hurts because I slept with my knees and her back all night long. And you know what? That same night, do you want to come sleep in my bed? Sure do. With my knees in your back and holding my Minnie Mouse. That was just what we did. That was our thing. So then having to pick through them, which do I take? And I thought about it. And I contemplated it. I choose Minnie Mouse. It's not that Theodore doesn't mean anything to me. I adore Theodore. He means the world to me. But Minnie Mouse is my grandmother. That is deeply rooted in memories. Things that I could never get back. I recognize that I can't get back the relationship I had with my ex through Theodore, but something about a grandmother's love and sharing a bed with her trumps that. And so I'm writing this journal, and I can't help but sit back and think about all the things over all the years that kind of made me who I am. And this isn't one of those journals where, like, you write it and you're just, in your feelings, super depressed, super upset. No, it isn't that at all. Like, the questions are very upbeat. You wouldn't even think that from some of the questions you'd get some of the answers that you did. And I think that's what made it unique, was that I would write this question and I would go to answer it, and my answer would catch me off guard. I didn't see it coming, but I loved not knowing what was coming. I loved being able to take the time to get to know myself. Even better, as I answered the questions, I kept wondering if I had someone else answer the questions on my behalf. They had to answer the questions for me. Would the answers match? Do I present to others what I desire to present? I don't have an answer for that. And one day, I might very well have somebody answer the questions for me. But today, I get to sit here and relish in the idea that I got to know myself a little better today. And I realize how dumb that sounds out loud. Like, how do you not know yourself? I mean, I do obviously know myself. I knew the answers. The answers were for me. I just never quite thought about it the way I did when I answered the questions tonight. It was different, but it was a good different. It was a nice different. There was something about learning more about me that felt satisfying. I think that for anybody who chooses to use this journal to answer questions, I think that you'll learn something new about yourself too. And again, not in a bad way, just in a, that was in there that whole time? This journal isn't going to cost you anything, so I don't want you to think I'm trying to sell you a product. It's just a freebie on my website. But, man, I would love to hear some of the answers. I would love to hear how you had that conversation with me. And I do mean a conversation. I talked to that journal like I was sitting in the room talking to you. Do not be alarmed by the fact that I called you my bestie, because that's the kind of conversation I wanted to have. I imagine it's you, it's me, we're either drinking some tea or some Starbucks or whatever it is. Hey, maybe we've had a couple drinks, we're a couple drinks deep, okay? We're sitting there and we're talking to each other back and forth, and we're just learning about each other and ourselves. And the reason why I say you're my bestie is because, one, who else do you share a large amount of personal information with other than your bestie? All of you guys are my bestie. You guys all know all the things. But two, what I liked about you being my bestie is conversations with best friends never end. I could call my best friend right now. She could rush off the phone to go take care of her child. And I know even if I called her a week from now, we're going to pick up where we left off. That conversation never ended. When people care that much, when people mean that much, it's easy for the conversation to continue to be ongoing. And that's what I wanted this to feel like, an ongoing conversation. Because it should always be ongoing, that you learn yourself and about the others that you care about. So today, I'm going to finish up this lovely journal. I am going to post it on my website, which I don't think I've told you guys what my website is. My website is www.unperfectlyperfect.org, and that is, like it sounds, unperfectlyperfect.org, and you'll be able to grab that and use it and have a conversation. And I will open up a way for you guys to communicate with me so that we can talk about it and we can laugh about some of the answers, because I'm sure some of my answers are going to make you look at me sideways, as they should. But I'm also hoping some of your answers will make you think, I didn't see that coming. So, today, just remember, today is another page in the story. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be written. And before you close your journal tonight, ask yourself, what is your bite of pie today? Until tomorrow, love you loud.